Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. As you can see, I'm wearing the same clothes as in the last video because I'm making the videos back to back. Today, the GST, Old Faithful. You love it, you hate it, you know about it for sure. It's probably the most popular ball. Uh, Two reasons I would guess: one, the price; two, the consistency. It's made by Wilson in the States. I think at their Ohio factory. You can see a lot of YouTube videos on that actually, if you're interested on how they make this thing. It's basically hand stitched. They do everything by hand. The leather is laid and stitched in all by some nice man or woman over at the factory there. I have two GSTs that I'm going to go through today, mostly because I want to talk a bit about the break-in process for these things, what I learned about breaking in this one compared to breaking in this one. And these are the same balls. These are the same Wilson GST ball. One I got from Litson's here in Ontario. One I got from Amazon with a cosmetic blemish, though I couldn't find it. Maybe you can in the video. Let's talk about the ball. Laces, the Wilson ACL laces. You've seen them on every Wilson ball. The F2000 has them. All the GSTs have them. The Prime, the Omega has it. And, there's good and bad about these. These come up pretty high off the ball, which I don't really like that much nowadays, but I did when I first started playing quarterback last year. And I will note that there's a difference here in the ball that I bought from Litson's and the ball that I bought from Amazon. You can see, as I've mentioned in a few videos, that at the end of this ball, there is no nub to keep the laces on the lengthwise strip. Okay. They come off. This drives me nuts when I'm playing quarterback because I want to be able to hold that ball and pull a little bit on the last lace so I can get my hands in a position to throw it. I like to have one on the strip or one on the stitch and then one on the tip of the ball. Helps me get distance, helps me get accuracy. But it's hard because with the laces coming off, you just wind up pulling. And sometimes, especially when I'm running, they slip. I don't like that. Maybe it doesn't matter for you, but for me, it's just something I think I should mention. So you'll notice on the ball I bought more recently from Amazon, the nub is really strong. Like that's a strong nub, man. Look at that thing. You kidding me? That's a really nice nub. Nothing coming off these. Okay. These laces are never coming off. Talk about the striping. So on the ball I bought here in Ontario, the striping rather pronounced, I think. Nice leather striping though. This is very sticky. Stick test for you. It's a little bit more pronounced than the ball I bought off Amazon. This ball's been used a bunch inside and outside, but that is not why it is this color. I'll go through that in a bit. I think if you look at the striping on this ball, so I'll just put it up to the camera here so you can kind of see how deep it is, rather deep. And then on this one, at least in my hands, it doesn't feel as deep. And I would guess that in the camera, you can kind of see a difference too. So I think that there's something to be said about that. I'll also note that the stitching on the stripe is a little different ball to ball. So you'll notice here, get focused, there's not much off the stripe in terms of stitching. Whereas on this one, there's almost none off the stripe in terms of stitching. So there's some difference between the balls, either because they've changed the way they're manufactured or just because there's a difference in the manufacturing ball to ball. Like I said, they're handmade. So let's talk about the girth of these balls, the width of these balls. These are NFHS approved, like all the other balls we review on this channel. This one's actually got the NCAA stamp on it. This is a really nice ball to throw. This is deflated a little bit because I like to, like I said, kind of put my finger on the tip of the ball. And I think you will find that this ball is very agreeable with you in terms of just overall balance. So whether you have a small hand like me, you can probably get your hand to the tip of the ball on either side, which is nice. Whether you have bigger hands and want to go full on the laces with the stripe or the stitch, or whether you want to throw off lace because the striping helps with that as well. I'll try and keep this on the camera. The striping helps with that as well. You're going to be able to throw this ball pretty easily and have a good time with it. I don't think this is as quarterback friendly a ball as the Adidas Dime or the Team Issue Dual Threat. That's my opinion as a guy with smallish hands. But I would never complain about this. In fact, I use this ball a lot. Let's talk about the break-in. So you've probably seen online, and I'm not going to make break-in videos because I don't have any interest in editing, 3 days worth of footage so that the ball looks darker. This one went through the full gamut of suggested break-in. Okay, you can see the original color sort of here, still showing on either side of the laces. But this one went through the full gamut. So what is the full gamut? For me, it was hot rag, wiping the dye off, then brushing, then shaving cream to get more dye off, then leather conditioner to darken the ball, then more weighting, then more brushing, then the Wilson wax kit, then more conditioner to get the ball dark and dark and dark. Now, I'm not saying this ball is not well conditioned. It is. And actually, I have a buddy who played university ball here in Canada, and I took this over to his place. He really liked it. He said this is exactly the kind of ball they would use in the condition they would use it. My personal view is that this was a huge waste of time. Okay, it's a huge waste of time. I shouldn't have spent all that time doing it. And it's not that I don't think the ball is good, but I don't think it's as sticky. You know, like you kind of get a little bit of a squeak there if you pull your finger, but the whole ball is not like that. You know, it's not as sticky as it should be. And I don't think that the leather is as soft as it should be either, given that I did all that stuff. Also, people like to brush out the dimples as part of that process. I didn't brush them out. I don't have a power brush, so I just had the Wilson kit. And you can still see there's a lot of dimpling on the ball, which doesn't really bother me, but does bother some people. This is not the ideal finish, in my opinion, as a guy who's throwing it. Catching it, that probably is okay. I played a lot of receiver too. I think that might be okay. This is the finish you want if you're throwing the ball, okay? You hear the difference there? It's significant. The striping is not as softened from the shaving cream and leather conditioner. And you can tape the stripes or tape the laces and stuff, and it'll help keep the leather dry, but it doesn't work 100%. And you notice the difference. I only used the brush and the wax on this. That's it. It took me probably 3 days of brushing and waxing. If I was like playing NCAA football or playing Madden or waiting in COD lobbies or waiting on, people to show up for teams meetings, whatever, that's when I would do this. And so it didn't take much. It's a better feel. This ball has a better feel. It's softer, I think. Even the dimples you'll notice are a little less pronounced on this ball. And I think it makes a difference. I really do. I've enjoyed throwing this ball a little bit outside in the net that I have. And I may use this, for practices if we have like a whole bunch of guys, because you want to have a few balls, right? So I think this is really the way you want to condition your ball. In terms of comparison to, I don't know, we could compare this to the Adidas Dime. There's a comparison video there. I have the Omega here, which is like the worst ball I own. In terms of like quality, the Omega is the Omega that I was shipped is like terrible quality. I don't know if it's just like a fake or whatever. I got it from Gopher Sports. The leather, if it's even leather, it sucks. The striping is terrible. The stitching is okay. There's like the, SRS / off lace stitching. But I think that for my money, if you're not going to get the prime because you're not sure about the stitching, this is a fine ball. And you can get it on Amazon for like $100 in Canada because it has a cosmetic blemish or whatever. Again, I can't listen. You tell me, okay? There's the leather. Okay. Like I said, I've only brushed this. I haven't taken it really like game wise, although this did get thrown in a game a little while ago. Now that I think about it, in the rain as well, by the way, and it was sticky as all hell. Does it look like it has any blemishes to you? The stamping is done well. The stitching is done well. The laces are done really well. I'll flip it over so people who have OCD about upright logos don't get mad. I mean, this is like a high quality ball. And again, is cheap. I don't know that I would, like I said, spend more than this on a ball if I was just buying one for the first time and didn't want to spend the money. I also don't know that I do the conditioning process I did for this ball. It was so long, so labor intensive. My wife thought I was nuts. I would just do this. Get the Wilson kit for $30 and just brush away. Have fun with it. These balls are meant to be durable. And the wax helps as well. Like I said, we threw this in the rain one night because the ball we had was a little bit too wet. It's a good ball. This is as good a ball as you'll need to start. I realize I've reviewed some other more expensive balls, I should say, more difficult to get balls, especially if you're in Canada on this channel. But if you're just starting out or you're a parent looking for a ball for your kid, wants to start playing quarterback a little bit, this is a good place to start. There's a composite version of this too that's not real leather, that has a striping. I don't recommend it. I've seen buddies of mine in our league try and throw the composite ball. Even when it's a little humid, the ball just doesn't dry and you can't hold it in the rain. All these things make a big difference in the confidence of the quarterbacks. And I know for me, like I always say, I have smaller hands. I need the ball to be agreeing with me in all conditions. And I find that this one has been pretty good. So yeah, Wilson GST, think about buying it. If you have any questions, comments, put them in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer the questions. And until next time, happy throwing.